double coverage.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man Sauce, and we've got a few people already in. I think they're just anticipating us going live. Apologies for the later start tonight. We were filming a special pod for all of you. So it went for 2 hours. Bit of a different vibe, Sauce, I'd say. So we had, I can reveal who it was. It was Chris Bilson from Putnam Standard Grading. Who we've had on originally with Brett, when the two of them came on and spoke about Platinum Standard Grading. Yes, Chris did speak about PSG, but it was a different vibe, and it was something a bit different for Double Coverage, where we literally spoke about his life, what he did, traveling the world, where he's worked, an interesting hobby that he's
interesting stories he's got as well.
Yeah, interesting stories. And it was good. And then we just shot the shit with the hobby at the end, and it was actually really good. So we should be dropping that this weekend. So stay tuned for that. But it's been a big week. Saucy, before I forget, I always need to ask you, how you going?
I am good, mate. I'm good. I'm on top of the world. The great man, Alexander Volkanovski, got the job done on the weekend. So I am happy as Larry, even though I did say I'd put my whole house on it, Dom. I put my whole card collection on it. I did say, so I was confident, but there's still them doubters out there, and I mean, you can't doubt no more the brilliance of the man. But yeah, I'm good. Obviously, my football team won on the weekend, so that was mighty fine as well. The Dons, sorry, Maddie, in the chat there. I can see you're in the chat there. Up the Dons. Come on. Got disrupted Luke Parker's 250th after he made a mockery of my side earlier in the season. And Dylan Shield, who's upped his game since that point. So, yeah, I could probably thank Luke Parker for making a bit of a mockery of Dylan Shield, because he's been one of our better players since that point where he caught a bit of flack. But can't say the same about your boys down at North. They're in absolute shambles.
It was a lazy 112-point loss. So it's just lazy. That's what we like to see. Yeah. Club legend came out in Wayne Duck Carey, and pretty much said that Noble won't be there next year. And when club legends usually come out and make some big calls, they usually are privy to stuff that's happening behind the scenes. So
new coach, mate. He's getting the sweep out the door.
New coach is coming. Yeah, he's gone. It didn't last long, 2 seasons. See you later. But you know, I'm more excited, Sauce. I'm not worried about North Melbourne. All my focus at the moment, if you've been following us on the socials, in our story, all revolves around King Kyrgios. If you've listened to this podcast for 100 and I think we're 105 episodes, Sauce. I know it says 104, but 105.
Have I cooked that up, have I? Oh, no.
Yeah. But if you listen to us for 105 weekly episodes, you'll know in about probably episode 3, I was talking about King Kyrgios. So I'm one of his very, very early fan, Sauce, and he's playing tonight. So I'll be all over it. A hello to James. A hello to Global, and hello to Matty Cams. Let's get straight into it, Sauce. It has been some of the busiest times when it comes to the NBA. Summer League started. We can talk about Chet in a second, your boy. But we've got to do one of these ones, Sauce. All right. I've got to share my screen, and we're going to jump on Shams. I've got his page up. And we're just going to run through, get reactions. DeJounte Murray to Atlanta for Gallinari, 3 first-round picks and a draft swap. So DeJounte Murray partnering up with Trae Young. This is great. To just get rid of, I know it's 3 first-rounders and a draft swap, but they got rid of Gallinari essentially. Unreal. That's a good pickup, man. I don't know if you saw, Sauce, what Murray came out and said about San Antonio. They said that they didn't want to waste his potential in a rebuild. They actually wanted to go onto greener pastures and hopefully give him the opportunity to flourish and win titles.
He's still young, so maybe in that position there, by the time the franchise, a team like San Antonio do get around to that, you never know. He might be back in the system and come full circle. So
yeah,
good pickup.
Great pickup. Of course, we had genuinely was tossing up giving this guy and his counterpart Lamont of the week, and it might have to be a dual source because he's requested a trade out of Brooklyn. He's been there for 2 seasons and he wants out. He got to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then he got swept in his 2 playoff series. So, KD, good work. Royce O'Neal to Brooklyn. Utah waiving Bo Cruz. He's gone. People in the chat will know exactly who Bo Cruz is if you've watched Hustle on Netflix. Obviously, we mentioned this one, but it was intended, but it's now confirmed. Jalen Brunson, Lonnie Walker. I think he signed with the Lakers in the end. Source. We'll probably get to that. I'm just going through a whole bunch of them. Jokic signed the Supermax. No surprise there. Supermax for Devin Booker. I don't know how. I just don't get how he's signing Supermaxes, and I don't know. Anyway. Malik Monk.
He scored 71 points in a loss, Doma. You know?
He's the most he's an overrated player. I don't really care what anyone says. Just go find the TikTok on our page and debate me on it. Or just read the comments and then don't debate me after you read the comments. Because I just flame people. DeAndre Jordan to Denver. Oladipo agreed to a 1-year, $11 million deal. Potentially could use him.
He was good for you guys. He's off the bench there, so definitely still has plenty to give. Looks like he's got his pace back and is looking like the shell of his old self. So not a bad pickup there.
This is actually a good pickup for the Knicks because he's got promise, this fella. But the problem is when you have
Isaiah
promise,
Hartenstein.
Isaiah Hartenstein, that is, yeah. But the problem is, Source, as you know as much as me, when you go to that franchise, it doesn't matter how much talent you have, it potentially can stunt your growth. Matty says Nick's in trouble about that too. I don't know if you heard, Source. Apparently there was tampering with Jalen Brunson prior to them signing him. So
slap on the wrist, bit of a fine. That's all they'll get.
I think Mark Cuban was just a bit salty. That's why he's just trying to get him in trouble. Bobby P returns to the Bucks. Daniel House to Philly. He's a head case. PJ Tucker, 3-year deal, fully guaranteed for $33 million with the Philadelphia 76ers. That's a good pickup for Philly.
Apparently that's a very good contract for a guy of his age as well. So
I think he's redoing his contract and he's going to sign in the coming days. Wesley Matthews agreed to return. I don't think it's on here, but Joe Ingles is also going to the Bucks, so it's a good pickup for them. Javon Carter, 2-year deal to return to Milwaukee as well. Devon Reed to the Nuggets. Dwayne Dedman, 2-year deal to the Heat. Jashawn Tate. Lonnie Walker agreed to Los Angeles Lakers. Global says Brogdon is pickup of the year. Obviously, he went over to the Celtics. So that is a great pickup. That's what they need. They need a playmaker. He can create and he can score. So Troy Brown Jr. to the Lakers. These are good pickups for the Lakers, Source. They're fantastic. JaVale McGee over to Dallas with Luka the Don.
I can see the sarcasm in your voice, mate.
Kevin Knox
really going to elevate us to the next level. And I mean, we couldn't even get into the playoffs with the team we had last season, let alone bringing in these blokes.
Anthony Davis has been shooting with the lethal shooter, Source. He's been shooting with him.
And what did you say? He was with him last season and didn't stop him from shooting 25% from 3.
Yeah, that's right. So Andre Drummond to the Bulls. Gary Payton over to the Blazers. Did you want to talk about this, Source? Gary Payton to the Blazers.
Yeah.
Get him paid.
Steph Curry gets another man paid. Harrison Barnes, got paid. Who else has he had out of there that's got paid big dollars?
Gary Payton.
Otto Porter got paid.
Otto Porter.
Yeah.
Does D'Angelo Russell count? He was there.
Got him paid. Made him look good.
Got him paid. Unbelievable. So apparently there's a bit of controversy around this one, though, Source. Apparently the front office weren't too happy about the decision to get rid of him. And they didn't give the full go-ahead before it happened. Of course, your boy, Source, 5-year rookie max contract extension.
Big Zion.
So much for my
We back
predictions.
at beasting and feasting.
Aaron Holiday to the Hawks. Zach LaVine agrees to a 5-year, $215.2 million max for Chicago. Derek Jones Jr. is returning to the Bulls. Raul Neto to Cleveland. Your boy Dante DiVincenzo agreed
Good
to
pickup.
a 2-year deal with the
Makes
Golden
their
State
defense
Warriors.
better again.
Jalen Smith over to Indiana. Cody Martin back with the Hornets. Barbosa, Sacramento. How many more have I got to go through here? The Aussie, Jock Landale from Atlanta. Phoenix are trading for Jock Landale. So it's going over to Phoenix. He's just going to replace DeAndre Ayton. Josh Okogie, 1-year deal with Phoenix. It's not a bad pickup, Josh Okogie. He's all right. He can play. How far off? Mate, I was right near the top too. Oh, we're getting to some good ones. There's Josh. Oh, Goran Dragic over to the Bulls. That's a good pickup as well, off the bench.
Yeah, good vet.
Serge Ibaka, 1-year deal to return to Milwaukee. Gorgie Jang, 1-year deal with San Antonio. Jimmy Bucket's son, going over Brooklyn. Source. He was going to go play at the Heat. And I was just, remember I mentioned that to you? He's going to go
That
play with
wouldn't
his
have happened,
dad.
surely.
Not happening. He's in his head too much.
TJ Warren, we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, on the audio.
You should know everyone should know that it's his son. There's a couple here that are probably missing over on Woj's side. Thomas Bryant is returning back to the Lakers. Obviously, you flogged him off, Source. He's gone back. I'm not sure if there's any others. Of course, Rudy Gobert over to Minnesota. But the interesting one, obviously, Kyrie and KD trying to make headlines again. Does Kyrie go to the Lakers? Apparently, there actually been no pursuit from the Lakers. That's what's being said. Do you want Kyrie back in exchange for Westbrook? Source, like as a Lakers fan?
Me? Look, I don't really know, man. I don't even know what the Lakers franchise is thinking at this point. I don't even know what the Lakers franchise is thinking at this point. Would Kyrie be better? How can you say that he will? Like, how do you know that he's not just going to sit out games and hurt your franchise that way and your team? So yeah, look, I don't really know. I just think it's so crazy that these guys can literally sign a contract and then say trade me. Like, I just think it's so crazy. Yeah, I can see this getting messy in the next agreement between the Players Association and the league owners, of the team owners. I can see this getting very, very dirty. There's going to be
It
things
could be a lockout, man, because of this. It could cause a lockout.
More things in terms of like getting games played, bit more like it is in the NFL, where you're only guaranteed a portion of your money and if you fulfill your responsibility of playing games, then you get the other portion of your money. Whereas it's different in the NBA. It's like all the money is guaranteed. Like whatever your contract is, you're guaranteed that money regardless. Whereas in NFL, it's not like that. It's X amount is guaranteed, X amount you get on a game basis. So I could see them trying to work something in there like that, for situations like this situation. I mean, you got Kyrie Irving, he's got paid a lot of money to sit a lot of games. And it happens with other guys as well. So I could just see it just getting dirty because of these situations.
Do you also see potentially like the league coming to the table with like on the owner's behalf and going, we'll meet your demands, we'll reduce the season, all right? They already get paid a shit ton of money with the Supermax because the caps keep getting increased and stuff. So
yep,
you don't need to worry about that. So they come to the table and say, you play less games, right? You got to be available for X amount of games if you plan on doing that. And then they turn around and give more power back to the franchise. And say there's been dirty precedents being set here where players are just getting coming into our franchise as a free agent, signing, and then turning around after a year or 2 years because they can't be bothered because they just want to literally they want to chase a ring now, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, they're disgruntled. They don't like the management and saying, "Oh, I want to trade," and blowing up franchises after franchises have given stuff. Obviously, Brooklyn gave the world for James Harden after they literally just think about that. They came in those two Le Mans. They said we want James Harden, so the franchise gives up everything for James Harden. They get him. Then James Harden isn't happy with Kyrie Irving because he's turned into Lesage over there and he's burning sage in the freaking locker room and doing whatever he's doing. Kyrie Irving, we know he's an interesting cat, but whatever, because whatever he thinks is the correct thing with Kyrie Irving, I think people should have clued onto that by now. Yeah, it's his way or the highway. So comes in, they don't work. They end up getting rid of James Harden after giving all their draft picks for Ben Simmons and Seth Curry. Now the two guys are going, okay, we want to leave. They got no draft picks to rebuild because these two guys have said, oh, he's our mate. We want him to play with us. And now they've flogged off everything. They want to leave, and you're going to be left with Seth Curry, Ben Simmons, Patty Mills, Joe Harris, and freaking Jimmy Bucket's son, TJ Warren. That's the team. Like they have to. Well, they're going to get traded, I guess. Wait, who are you going to get? Westbrook for Kyrie Irving. That's your team.
It's crazy.
Potentially Bam Adebayo when we trade for him.
I don't know. Matty Tape says,
just...
don't some players get bonuses of contracts and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
Making
they get
all-stars.
incentives. Yeah, incentives. But it's the figure that you see reported on like Sports Track, which is like a website that tells you all their contract information, how much they're getting paid per year. Like that money is guaranteed. Like, those are added bonuses. So, yeah, I think there'll be something more drawn into it. And on that point there, man, I just feel really sorry for the Nets franchise because obviously they wanted to try bring these guys together, try do like a Toronto, bring them in, try get it done within 3 years, win a championship for the franchise. Everything will be forgotten. You'll forget about all the draft picks you gave away and all that sort of shit because they'll win you a chip. They've pretty much bailed on the franchise.
They were a toenail sauce.
Yeah,
a toenail. 2 seasons ago, a toenail from beating the champs, the eventual champions. James says Irving and Durant aren't going anywhere. They could be just making noise, like so they can surround them with pieces, potentially. I don't think the pieces that they had in mind are Royce O'Neal and TJ Warren. But it's better than nothing, I guess. They get Joe Harris back. But anyway, I just think they just want to be talk of the town. I genuinely think that what runs in Kevin Durant's head is if I say I want to trade, I want to see how relevant I still am in this league as a fucking ego thing. That's the way these two come across to me, man. Honestly, it's the way they come across to me. I just want to test how good my ego still is. Do people actually want me? Will they trade for me? I don't plan on leaving. But let's put the whole franchise and the whole fan base through shit. Leading up to the season going, are we going to lose him? Like at any time? What's going to happen? Are they going to play well for us this year?
The trade deadline goes for a long time into the season as well.
It's actually pathetic the way that they're going about it. It's pathetic. Anyway, nothing short of what those two guys are anyway, as harsh as that is. Can't change a leopard's spots, as they say, Sauce. Anyway, let's move on. Enough on that crap. Let's get to the Grand Prix. What was probably the scariest start to the race.
Crazy.
That we've seen since the Romain Grosjean crash in Bahrain 2 seasons ago. Zhou Guanyu flips upside down, spins across the straight, onto the gravel, over the barrier, into the fence, and gets stuck in between. Obviously, the most famous photo. A lot of people have seen it. Probably bring it up here. And you can ESPN F1. Whoop. It was scary, man. The lap got red flagged immediately.
Race was delayed for like 40 minutes, wasn't it? 45 minutes?
Yeah, 45 minutes. This is what it looked like. The top is the dint, or how much it's caved out of the track, and then that's what it looked like. Another one. Here you go. Just scary shit, man. Look at that. This footage is crazy. It is wild. Have a look at this. Upside down. Straight over the barrier. Bang.
Bang. Imagine you sitting there, you'd be shitting your bricks.
It's fucking insane, man. Like, here it is. This is the most famous photo that came out of it. Obviously, in here, you can see Joe Granu. Yeah. That's, scary, scary stuff. You summed it up beautifully there, Matty Tabe. Welcome in, by the way. He says, a hail to the halo, did its job. 100%. That is 2 drivers now in the last 2 seasons that, off the top of my head, I can say that it has saved. Joe Granu being one of them. The other being Lewis Hamilton in that race last year, where the Verstappen car went on top of his and the tire hit his helmet. It's very lucky. The halo's not there. It probably breaks his neck, man. Like, kills him or paralyzes him or severely injures him. Not great. Zach says, even if 7-Eleven stays, Nets still don't have a couple of decent big men. Yeah, well, they got Nick Claxton. He's a good bloke.
What are you talking about? They got Nick Claxton, man.
No. Yeah. He's on the money, Zach. You're on the money there, mate. You really are. Great race. It was an epic one. It had everything. It was our time. Was up, Source. We're on the clock this week, you and I. Well, mainly me, because I brought it up. I don't want to rope you into it because I don't want you to get into trouble about Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. It was Silverstone. We gave him a timeline. 50% of what we said, it pretty much happened, which was they were going to get podiums in the lead up, and they were going to start, 75%, because we said they're going to start finding pace, becoming more competitive. And Lewis Hamilton finished 3rd. He had the opportunity to win this race as well. Obviously, didn't fall. The stars didn't align for him. Carlos Sainz ends up winning his first ever race in Formula One, which is fantastic for him. Checo Perez drove out of his mind. Obviously had damage to his front wing at the beginning. Pitted.
Correct. It was a great race by Perez.
Yeah, came out 13th, Source, and then worked his way from 13th to 2nd. Lewis Hamilton in 3rd. Charles Leclerc in 4th. I'll get you to talk about Charles Leclerc in a second. Ferrari once again. I'll get you to talk about that. Alonso, great drive in 5th. Norris in 6th. Verstappen 7th. They said he had a small piece of debris under his car. I don't know if you've seen the photo, Source. I don't know if it's on the ESPN F1. He said small piece. Here it is. This is what was stuck under his car the whole time, mate. I don't know if it's small. It's a pretty decent sized piece of debris that slowed him down.
So that was stuck under his car the whole race.
Yeah. Remember they said that there's something stuck under the car, a piece of debris? Yeah. That's what it was. So it slowed him down. Obviously couldn't get the aerodynamics, the airflow. So very interesting. I couldn't believe it when he posted that photo. Mick Schumacher, 8th, Vettel 9th, and Magnussen in 10th. So, the 2 Haas cars. But Source, over to you. I want you to analyze what happened there with Ferrari and Charles Leclerc. They've been great in the last 2 months of racing.
Yeah, look, there was dramas between Ferrari teammates and Charles Leclerc and Ferrari. I mean, he wanted Ferrari to, for pretty much, even though Sainz had the quicker pace on the day, and that's what they're saying, Sainz is quicker than you. He wanted Sainz to, give up the spot so he could go through, get the points, and, use Sainz as a decoy to try fend off the other cars while he got away and, potentially won the race for his own benefit, for his championship chances. So a bit of drama there. funny enough, someone high up at Ferrari sort of came up to him after the race and had a word to him and
Oh, it
said
was
to him, mate,
Bonotto. It was the team principal, Bonotto. Matteo
there you go,
Bonotto.
Bonotto. And
Mario.
he said, sort of tapped him on the shoulder. And you didn't hear what they said. You just seen he was having a very stern word to him. And you could see it in the background of the camera. And it was, I'm sure it went along the lines of, mate, Ferrari's bigger than you, mate. So you do what we say. I'm sure it was along the lines of that. So yeah, it was pretty interesting because he was going bananas, like wanting them to do it on the radio. And they didn't cave. I mean, rightfully so. Signs, he had the better pace all weekend. Came race day, had the better pace. And I mean, he got his first win in Formula One. He's been, it was like over 100 races. He's
150 races.
There you
This is
go.
150th race. So on the anniversary of it, got the win. Other things that came out of this, nothing much. We were joined on the podcast source, which was nice, by the boys at Too Thick Pod, which is Manny and Jeremy. So it was great to have them on board. They were asking a lot of questions. They're obviously they're new to the sport. They've been watching it for a couple seasons, but they wanted to learn some more stuff about it. They do collect F1 cards, but definitely go check them out. That is Too Thick Pod. I'll tag him when I put out the tile for the show release on Instagram later this evening. So thanks to them for jumping on board, and they kept us company. They kept me company. Saucy fell asleep, so
I was awake at parts.
I love it.
Like, if it didn't get delayed by 45 minutes, I would have been all right. So
yeah, I know. I just need to hang shit on you. That's the way I do it. Driver standings, we'll quickly just run through that. And then, so Verstappen 181, Sergio Perez 147, Leclerc 138, Sainz 127, Russell 111, Hamilton 93, Norris 58, Bottas 46. The rest don't really matter because they got no chance of winning. There's a race this week, Source. Why did I close it? It is the Austrian Grand Prix this week. So that one is on Sunday, Monday morning for us. I think it's a midnight start again. It's perfect for me. Back to work the next day, so got to cop it. And then after that, 2-week break over to France, but we'll cover it next week. All right, Saucy, moving on. Bring the Insta back up, get the F1 off, and let's bring up your boy. Here he is, Fabrizio. There's been some moves. They got a confirmed,
probably from there.
Yeah, from this one here, because this is confirmed now.
Yep.
Gabriel Jesus over to Arsenal. Thoughts, Saucy? You happy?
Yeah, I think we spoke about it already on last week's show. Yeah. Look, I mean, we needed another striker. He's an improvement on what we have at the club. Yeah. I still don't agree. Like, Lacazette didn't want to actually leave the club, and he was actually emotionally upset that they didn't offer him another contract. And I actually think it's probably a mistake. Like, he could have stayed on as, a striker coming off the bench. Could have just signed him to a 1-year deal and just seen how he went and or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I still think, we need more depth. You see the best clubs in the world, they've got depth at every position. Are they still pinning too much hopes on Nketiah coming up? Don't know. But yeah, he's an improvement. Let's hope he can stay fit.
Quickly, Global says, do you think Lewis will ever win another championship? I'm never going to say never, man, because that Mercedes car is already finding a lot of pace.
Yeah,
and
it's getting better.
He actually can still win it.
Win some races.
You can still win it this year. I'm just going to let people know that he can still win it this year. All right, it's not beyond reach for a Mercedes car to win it. If there's a few more mistakes by Verstappen and DNFs, and it changes the whole ball game. Like Perez and Leclerc can still win it this year. But obviously, he's the favorite. I do think at this point in time, Verstappen's in the box seat. But I'll stick with my preseason prediction, which was Charles Leclerc. Divock Origi joins AC Milan on a free transfer from Liverpool. I'm just going to go through the Fabrizio Romano ones. If there's other ones, of course, feel free to check them out. Chelsea in agreement with Rafinha. I don't think that got 100% confirmed, though.
Reached an agreement for Leeds Rafinha, so not 100% confirmed. That's just
this one definitely was confirmed. Richarlison, there you go, signed a permanent deal. I think it is 5 years. I think, but Richarlison joins Tottenham. Interesting. Now they're trying to get Longley from Barcelona as well. Gaultier was confirmed last night as PSG coach. Mo Salah re-signs. This one's for you, Global. I don't know how to say his last name, so I've been calling him Tyrell Malakia. So I don't know how to fucking say his surname. So it's Tyrell Malakia over here, joining Man United. Of course, I'll talk about this guy in a minute. Talking about him in a minute. Christian Eriksen is going to join United as well. Here's the official Malakia post. Steven Bergwijn, permanent deal to Tottenham as well.
From Ajax.
Zlatan won't retire. He's going to sign a new deal with AC Milan, Saucy. Our boy Zlatan, we love him dearly.
Back for another season.
He's just a machine, this guy, isn't he? And Di Maria confirmed to be joining on a free transfer at Juventus, along with Pogba. Formulating a good team. But we'll bring up this man, the great man. Alberto Del Mondo. Now, I've got a few things, Source. Everyone reckons he's going Chelsea, he's going here, he's going there. Napoli want him, Rome want him, this guy wants him, that guy wants him. Apparently no one's really asked for him. Anyway, my theory behind it was he's just making noise. And apparently he had a family issue. Okay, so it says it here, due to family reasons, he couldn't come back to training. So he should be back this week. This was 2 days ago. So next week he should be back at training. My theory behind the source was that he was going to roll into training on Monday morning, and he was going to turn around and say, which he pretty much did say, was, where the fuck are my signings? We've had a month and a half here, mate. Where are my signings? We've got a new coach. If we don't have new signings, how are they meant to learn the new system when I come back? Like,
because the GOAT could learn the system in 1 day.
4 seconds, mate. Funnily enough, when all this shit's come out and everyone still thinks he's going to Chelsea and he's going here and he's going there, Eriksen, Malakia signed. The moment he starts cracking the shits, all of a sudden, they took the finger out of their ass and they made 2 signings, and De Jong more likely to come now, quicker, sooner rather than later. And then Martinez has already expressed he wants to leave to Ajax. He said, you can keep me, but I want to go. I want to play in the Premier League. So you got to sell me. So Anthony might be a little bit harder to rip away from Ajax. James says Ronaldo can't carry 10 men. I agree with you.
He did last season.
It's funny. Someone put a stat out and said, the season before Ronaldo, we kicked 118 goals. The season with Ronaldo, we kicked 73 goals. We should let him go. It was on a Man United fan page. Okay. So to the fan that created that post, let's take Ronaldo out of the team completely. Are we kicking 73 goals last year? Who's kicking our goals?
Look, it does help that you've moved some players out of the club like Pogba that clearly didn't want to be there. They weren't good for the culture.
He's
they're not good for the locker room. So, getting those sorts of guys out will also help the club. I'm sure it's not the end of the signings for United, so I think there'll be some more to come.
There'll
Be
be some
interesting
more.
to see.
We're going
what
to see him
pans
next
out.
week, Source. Don't forget on Friday. And at this
Oh, there we go.
point, at this point in time, Ronaldo is not going to be playing, so that's good.
Oh, brilliant.
That's come around quick, and he's not even going to be playing because United can't sign anyone. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get through this quickly. We won't stick around too long. But AFL 108 to 67, the win by the Lions over the Dogs. I think there's a game tonight. Tomorrow. Carlton versus Saints. Saints got the win over the Blues.
It's only Wednesday, mate. It's only Wednesday.
Yeah, I know. I got excited.
Jumping ahead
93 to 78. Yes, I know.
Good win.
I know.
Good bounce back by the Sainers. Blues probably. I mean, they shot themselves out of that game. 10 goals, 18. They did have chances, so should have done better, in my humble opinion.
Yep. Then we had your boys, the Bombers, beating Sydney 95 to 86. You mentioned that. Great win by your boys. 2 in a row?
No,
two and
we haven't
3
won
games.
2 in a row. You can put us 100% down to get a loss this week because we couldn't string 2 in a row if we tried,
Okay.
or if our lives depended on it. We struggle all season trying to win 2 in a row.
D's defeat the Crows by 29. The Cats defeat the Roos by 112, which was great game. I was actually watching this game, Source. I actually wasn't watching my mob. I was watching this game because it was actually competitive. And I went with Collingwood. I stuck by them, Source, again. They got the win. I've been pretty good with my tipping.
Dubious.
Yeah, I know. The umpiring apparently was horrific. I was watching it. There's a few questionable things in there. But Darcy Moore got hurt in this game. He won't play for the next few weeks. So I'm not tipping Collingwood. I'm not tipping Collingwood this week. Richmond defeated Eagles by 35. Giants 22-point victors over the Hawks. And the Dockers defeat Port by 8 points. All right, Saucy, let's move on to this week. Big game tomorrow night. Cats versus Demons. $1.90 split. Either way, Sauce. Who have you got?
I'm going Geelong just because it's down in Geelong. That's my logic.
This is
not going to lie.
This is a tough.
Not going to lie.
A tough tip. Tough. They were a bit shaky early, Melbourne. I'm also going to go the Cats. They started very, very slow, and I don't think you can start too slow against the Cats. Swans versus Dogs. SCG. Friday night football.
I think the Dogs have fallen off. I really think the Dogs are in trouble of missing the top 8. I think, this is season on the line stuff for them, and they're 240 underdogs. I'm going to go with the Swans. The Swans had opportunities to beat us. Lance Franklin missed a shot in the last quarter, 35 out on a slide angle. You're probably, kicking it from 40 out. He probably, you bank on him to kick that 9 times out of 10. He misses it. So it's not like, the Dons put together one of their best performances all season. And and that's the typical Essendon you get. You don't know what you're going to get from week to week. And when we do play our best football, we do, rattle other teams and can cause upsets. But I think the Swans will bounce back this week and defeat the Dogs.
Nice. I'm also going to go with the Swans. And you know what? I'm going to change my tip. I said I wouldn't pick Collingwood without Darcy Moore, but they play North this week. So
That's
the bye. Sorry, they play the bye. So I'm going with the Pies again.
Yeah, Pies for me too.
Suns versus Richmond at Metricon. It's $1.92 split because Richmond sometimes has a few difficulties traveling over to Metricon.
Yeah,
play against the Suns.
Definitely a danger game for the Tigers, and I think if the Suns can play like they did against the Pies, they could cause an upset here. I'll back them in again on their home deck. I'm going to go the Suns, even though I've got Tigers for to win the flag, and if they are going to win the flag, these are the games that they're going to win. But I don't know. They are flying high, the Tigers. So I haven't
tipped against
you. Am I oversighting?
I haven't tipped against you this week.
I'm changing. I'm gonna go with the Tigers. I'm going with the Tigers. I just think they're a better football side.
I'm going to go Tigers as well. No, I'm going Tigers. Saints versus Freo.
Flagmantle's going to travel over here to Marvel They've won some games here this season already at Marvel, so I think they know what it takes to get it done there.
I'm
But this will
going
be a good
Saints.
game. This
There
will be
we
a good
go.
game.
There's the first split. I'm going Saints. Port versus Giants, Adelaide Oval.
Yeah. Port have been playing better football of late, so I think I'll go with Port just because it's on their home deck.
I'm going Port as well. Lions versus Dons at the Gabba.
Yeah. Lions.
Lions. Yeah,
We'll lose by
Lions.
40, I reckon, this week.
Hawks versus Adelaide, Marvel Stadium.
I think this is going to be a closer game than what the odds have got there. I mean, there's got the Crows at $2.50. It's got the Hawks at $1.53. I think it's going to be a lot closer than that. I can actually see the Crows pipping them here. I'm going to back Adelaide away from home.
Oh, this is a tough.
I mean, if it was at MCG, I'd probably just go, yep, Hawthorn. I wouldn't even think about it. The fact it's at Marvel Stadium.
Yeah, I'll stick with you. Sauce, I'm going to back the Crows as well. And the last game, 4:40 on Sunday, Eagles versus Carlton.
Danger game. Carlton. Danger game.
I am tipping the West Coast Eagles.
I think that is, what have they got them at? $3, Dommer. That is tremendous value. Tremendous value. $3.
I'm not willing to put my house and my card collection on it, like Sauce did.
No, definitely
but,
not. I'm not saying. I'm just saying it's value there. Maybe it's one to chuck the line bet in the multi, boost up the odds a little bit with a little something else in there. But I really like West Coast to get the win. I'm going to go West Coast.
Over to the ladder. D's on top. Cats, Lions, Flag Mantle, second, third, and fourth on 44. Equal on 40 points of the Blues and the Pies. Then we've got the Swans, the Tigers, and the Saints all on 36. Western Bulldogs on 32. The Suns on 28, along with Port, GWS, and Adelaide on 20. Hawthorn and Essendon on 16. West Coast on 8. And North Melbourne with a 49.5% on 4 points. So they're on fire, I guess, at the moment. Let's move on, Sauce. Over to you. UFC, big card. You're the prophet. You're the oracle.
UFC card, Doma, this past weekend was UFC 276. That was headlined by Israel Adesanya and Jared Cannonier. And then the co-main event was Alexander the Great Volkanovski against Max Holloway. I'll bring it up just so we can see, ladies and gentlemen, the results and what transpired. Oh, no.
What's happened?
Oh, I've got the wrong thing. Oh, here we go. Hopefully it shares the right thing. How'd that go?
There we go.
Oh, beautiful. All right, beautiful. So as we go, I'll scroll down to the bottom there. We had Pedro Munez against Sean O'Malley in the bantamweight. It was unfortunate. Stray finger went into Pedro Munez's eye. People out there saying he's faking it. Go fucking look at his eye post-fight. Like his whole eye was shut, swollen shut. So he couldn't continue because he couldn't see out of his left eye or whatever. People were trying to give him shit that he was faking it. It happens in the sport. Not the first time, won't be the last time. And hopefully these guys come up again. It was a pretty even fight up until that point. I think Sean was probably looking a bit better, but it ended in a draw, no contest. So I'm sure they'll be back to do it all again. And then you had the welterweight division. You had Brian Barberena defeated Robbie Lawler. It was a just fist flying everywhere in this fight. And I think Robbie Lawler didn't play it as well as he could have. Barberena usually is just like, hell to leather. He's just throwing, constant punches. His just stream of punches was too much for Robbie Lawler. Overpaced him, and then just landed a few nice ones on the button, and it got him rocked. And then he ended him with a flourish. And then the middleweight, you had Sean Strickland knocked out in the first round by Alex Pereira. We all know, if you don't know who Pereira is by now, you should learn to know him because he's probably most likely going to be fighting for the belt in that middleweight division up next against Israel Adesanya, as Izzy did call him out after the fight. this is the fight that they've been trying to build up in the UFC for Izzy for a period of time. I think this is Pereira's third fight, third finish knockout. So, and, Strickland, credit to Strickland, because, he didn't have to take this fight against an unranked guy in Pereira, as being number 4 in the middleweight division. But he stepped in there and, he said, no, I want to fight him. And look, unfortunately, he found out what the hype is about. Alex Pereira looks like an absolute beast. I think it'll be a brilliant, brilliant fight should, Pereira come up against Adesanya in the near future. And I can't wait to see that matchup. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar. I did mention it last week. Pereira come from a kickboxing background, was in the same federation or division as Izzy when Izzy was previously a kickboxer and has actually beat him in kickboxing. So has beat Adesanya before in kickboxing. So, I know this is completely different, but this is why they're trying to build towards that fight because, obviously Izzy hasn't lost here in the UFC. He's only lost once, and that was to Stipe, I believe, and that was when he went up in the weight division. So, he's never lost at middleweight. He's undefeated. So they're trying to build up to that fight. And then we had the co-main event, Alexander, the great Volkanovski. I said I put my whole card collection on it. I put my whole, house on it. I did say 5th round decision for this one. Was proved right. 5th round decision. Volkanovski was on another level. He won every single round. He's just unmatched. He's too quick. I was saying, his levels have gone up. Max Holloway has stayed at the same level, which is not a crap level or a low level of standard of MMA by any stretch of the imagination, Doma. It's just that Alexander the Great is just that much better than him. And 3-0 against Max, people can't deny or say anything, that this one was a fluke. It was a complete and utter domination. Can't wait to see what next for the Volk. He did say he wouldn't mind moving up a division and potentially, challenge in that division as well. So that will be interesting to see what comes next. And then the main fight, Israel Adesanya against Jared Cannonier. Cannonier fought like a pretty good fight. Izzy was just his tactical self, not getting caught too much on the inside because that was obviously where Cannonier had the advantage, had a lot of raw power. Credit to Izzy. It's not like he didn't cop any punches. He copped a, big right hook at one stage that, maybe other guys in that division from Cannonier, you've seen how muscly he was, they would have dropped and potentially, it could have been the end of the fight, but, Adesanya took those punches, but he was just able to land more throughout each round. He was able to, stop the takedowns that Cannonier did try to do at times. So that obviously helps on the points basis of the game if you're able to defend those takedowns. And then, he's just able to tag him with plenty of shots, which in the end was enough for him to get the win. And Cannonier didn't do enough to take the belt, and Izzy, did more than enough to keep the belt. So, he fought a smart fight, and I think people want to have a go at Izzy because maybe he doesn't always get the flashy knockouts or flashy finishes. He has in the past, but you got to give credit to him. Like, he's so tactical that if you want to beat him, you got to come and not only, beat Izzy, but you got to beat his tactics that he put in there and game planned for. And I mean, he's a master. He's a master when he gets into that octagon.
He got booed, apparently. Did he get booed? Or?
Yeah, he got booed. So
did Volk. Yeah. Volk got booed as well.
Yeah, that's just the haters. People don't like the way that they've taken the sport in a sense. They don't like that they're thinking about it as a tactical matchup rather than just going in there and throwing haymakers, trying to knock the other bloke out, and always looking for the finish because that's sometimes not the best way to fight, or that's not the way that might suit that fight the best. So they're master tacticians.
The other thing too, Sauce. The other thing too is these guys are professionals. They don't want to get knocked out.
Well,
like they don't want to put their body through a concussion and a knockout.
Correct. Correct, and they talk about this, and I've heard the Volk talk about this, and he says, the best guys that have some of the best reigns over time in the fighting game are the guys that have the best defense because they get hit the least, right? And they're able to, their longevity is allowed them to have a long-standing career in the fight game. Right.
100%.
So, that's the way that they look at it. And Izzy and the Volk are very similar in the way that they look at it and talk about defense. And that's where, some people don't really like it because they want to just see the banging and crashing. And that's why I tell you, Doma, if you want to see that, fucking tune into the heavyweights. All right. That's where you're going to see that stuff because that's what they do. The heavyweights, they bang and crash. Right. That's it. All right. I don't see too much tactician in the heavyweight. It's bang and crash. I mean, there was a bit more in the previous title fight with Cyril Gane and Ngannou. There was a bit more tactical moves there, but there was still plenty of banging and crashing. But in those other divisions, you're going to see master tacticians, and that's what we're seeing from these two weight divisions in middleweight and featherweight, and Volkanovski and Adesanya, and they're just reigning supreme. So those two divisions. I don't know what's next. I mean, Izzy's got his matchup against Pereira. The Volk, there's no one in that division, featherweight, that can beat him. I'm telling you. So yeah,
Cool.
We'll see what happens. All right, there is a card this weekend,
Yes.
Doma. That was a belter card. Did say it was a good card, and there was plenty of cards even on the prelims that were really good fights. But I never go into those because we'll be here forever. This weekend, 11 a.m. the main card kicks off. It's UFC Fight Night Dos Anjos against Rafael Vizivi in the lightweight division. Co-main event, Kale Barbarello against Armin Petrosian. And then feel free to have a look at the other fights. This will be not a bad fight in the lightweight. Michael Johnson against Jamie Mullarkey. So feel free to have a look. Prelim card kicks off from 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and main card 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So feel free to tune in this weekend.
Very nice, Sauce. Very, very nice. Let's move on to the Le Mans of the week. Do I need to set the scene? Nah, I do. Cold, sunshine, grass, boring gentleman sport. What more is there to say? Apart from the greatest thing to ever happen to the fucking sport. Full stop, period. Full stop, period. The greatest thing to ever happen to the sport is this guy right here. This guy right here. All right. You know why is the greatest thing to ever happen to the sport? Because everyone else there, outside of the three guys that you know who exactly they are when I bring this guy up, are stiff, cardboard, vanilla, boring, fucking robotic, no personality. And when they do have a personality, they're the biggest sooks on the planet. Because the great man here, I'm talking about the king. Not James, Kyrgios. This is the king. The greatest thing to happen to tennis is that guy right there. I've been on him since day one. I did say, today to Sauce, it'd be a bit difficult to be in his corner. Unfortunately, if he gets found guilty of the stuff that got reported last night. But, I probably, I don't stand for that stuff, so it's going to be hard for me to support this guy. But innocent until proven guilty, and that's obviously they're leading into his quarterfinal game against Garin. As you know, Sauce, they're always going to plant something in the media, and he's apparently facing court next month. Besides the point, that's not the Le Mans of the week. Le Mans of the week is the people that are still persisting for this guy to continually fail. And Stefanos Tsitsipas. I had to put that in there. One of the biggest sook Sauce of all time. The media around this incident with Tsitsipas and Tsitsipas himself are this week's Le Mans of the week. And before Sauce gives the Le Mans, I'm going to explain to you why. All right. First of all, they brought him up for bullying. Bullying what? Bullying. Keep that in the back of your mind just for 1 second, all right? I'm then getting clips popping up all over the place on social media of Can you explain this to me, Source? Piers Morgan is calling Nick Kyrgios a disgrace. Piers Morgan. And he had some reporter on. She's not even a tennis reporter, saying that, Nick's this, Nick's that. People in Australia don't like him. But, mate, there's people in Australia that don't like Rafa Nadal. I'm serious. There's people that don't like Rafa Nadal.
Yeah, correct.
There's people that don't like Federer. Obviously, the clear and obvious one is there's people that don't like Djokovic. Clearly, like, we don't need to get into those reasons. We understand why. I actually don't mind Djokovic, to be honest. Like, it is what it is. Like what he did, and this is the perfect example here. All right, Ben Simmons copped it. And I don't need to get back into the whole Ben Simmons things. You know where I stand and what I said about this. But this comment here, I was going to talk about this, but you're right on the money. Matty Tabe, the Aussie McEnroe. John McEnroe was version 1 of this guy. And my God, go watch some of the shit that he used to do on the court. And I'll tell you what, he matches, if not beats, Nick Kyrgios. Some of the stuff he used to say to umpires and to people, like Nick can be condescending and rude, but he's genuinely swearing at people, carrying on like a muppet. And he's beloved in your sport. He's a legend. He's an icon. We love John McEnroe. You know, what he did, he was just a nutcase, but it was so funny. That's how you looked at it. It's funny. This guy is Nick Kyrgios is the biggest draw card to a boring group of young and up and comers that have got no personality, to a sport that has now surpassed living by the big three, Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer. You are slowly living in the shadow of the big three. They are coming towards the end of their career. You don't need to make him the face if you don't want him to be the face. But Source, you know what I say? If you didn't want this guy to be the face of your sport, why is he playing on center court? Why is Wimbledon putting all these amazing graphics out of Nick Kyrgios? Why? There's certain things you can look at. Go have a look at his press conferences, yeah? I understand his press conferences can be a bit out there. And, you know, Novak Djokovic press conference, 10,000 views in 5 hours. Nick Kyrgios, 55,000 views. Everything this guy does, his views outweigh every other player on the tour. Every single other player. His first campaign on sponsorship was with Beats. All right, go and find the commercial. It's like, I Can't Hear You. And the Beats by Dr. Dre promoted him as the bad boy of tennis. Usually the sponsorships get pulled from the guy from being the bad boy of tennis. They sponsored him as the bad boy of tennis. He's the Happy Gilmore. We've said this so many times. He's like Happy. He gets a draw card, mate. Everyone goes mental. Even center court can become like a circus at Wimbledon, mate. Like a zoo when this guy's playing. I was watching the other night. No one talks midpoint on center court. Like the Djokovic game last night. That was center court against.
Yeah.
No one talks in between points under that. Nick Kyrgios, people talking midpoint. Mate, his energy is just infectious. And he was flat. People trying to G him up, so they're just talking midpoint. They don't give a shit. They don't care. And I'll end on the bullying part, Source, before you go out and you deliver the big Le Mans. Bullying in sport is not bullying. We talk about, we put guys like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, I'm trying to think of some of Peyton Manning. I'm just trying to think of some of the biggest trash talkers in the history of sport, mate. You know, you put them on a pedestal and say, these guys talk trash, man. They got in people's head. It was so sick. It was so good to watch. And he's doing it in tennis. And what, he's not allowed to do it? So all of a sudden, mental warfare, what happens on the court stays on the court.
It's a gentleman's game, mate. It's a gentleman's game.
It's bullying all of a sudden, Sauce, because you don't like it, because you don't like him. That's why it's bullying. People are saying, oh, what he does is like being in the workplace. It's bullying. All right. So Michael Jordan punches teammates in the face at training at his workplace. Is he up for an assault charge? He gets in people's heads and bullies them on the court. Does he get taken to fair work? You people are fucking literally grasping at straws. Just get over it. It's the best thing to happen to tennis. Nick, we love you. And to everyone out there, Saucy, you are
Lemons.
He's playing tonight, Sauce.
He's playing tonight, 11:30. Tune in.
Safe to say I'm watching him.
If I believe it should be on Channel 9 or on 9 now, I believe. So you can tune in free to air that way for sure.
Very nice. Alrighty, Sauce, on to Hobby Talk, brought to you by Platinum Centigrade. Thanks to the crew at Platinum Standard Grading. Appreciate all your help. We are obviously bulk subbing here in Victoria, so feel free to send through for bulk sub 3. All right, let's move on. Source, first item on the agenda is this bad boy. Great news, Source. It's finally here. It only took for the this season's draft to come out for last season's draft of Prism rookies to finally get their Prism product. It's available this Friday, and I'll give you a bit of a rundown. Most popular release of the year is the 21-22 Prism Basketball, and it's back with the familiar, highly sought-after parallels, inserts, and auto content. Hobby boxes contain 12 cards per pack, 12 packs per box, 2 autos, 22 prisms, and 10 inserts per box on average. Find 2 autos per box in sensational SIGs, flashback SIGs, and hobby-exclusive rookie SIGs. Collect the rainbow of your favorite superstars and rookie players as Prism offers some of the most highly sought-after colored parallels of the year. Find 10 inserts per box in Prismatic, Fireworks, Widescreen, Mindset, Fearless, and 2 new inserts celebrating the 75th season of the NBA in the NBA 75th logo hobby and 75 years of the NBA, which you'll see those cards in a second. Here, sorry for people that are viewing, listening. Here we go. Stickers, as per usual. New design there. Jalen Suggs. Ja Moran auto. Here's a 75th anniversary edition. Shaquille O'Neal. There's a Fireworks Zion. Prismatic Luka the Don. Sensational SIGs of Trae Young. And that's all they've got up on at the moment. Happy Sauce, it's finally here.
About time. I mean, they're taking their sweet ass time.
Yeah, I'm not going to shit on the product because obviously Prism's. Well, actually, I am about to shit on the product. Matt Tape says just a lazy 2.8K for a hobby box.
Yeah, 2K or something. I see. No, I don't know. It's not worth it. Just hold out, ladies and gents. Hold out.
Prism Football. I've got Cardboard Connection in front of me, but I don't think it's got Football Select.
Hold out, ladies and gents, or just buy singles. We know it's all going to come down.
It'll come down
at some point. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy in one aspect where one section of the hobby, like they're still getting like these sort of releases of boxes. Then other sections of, different sports and things, it's not so bad. So, I mean, I thought the price that you could find around for like a Topps Chrome UEFA Champions League, the most recent released hobby box, somewhere between 300 to 375, you could pick up a box for. So, in the soccer aspect, it's probably one of the better products, and it's probably like the Prism equivalent in a sense in soccer. You're only paying that sort of money, but then when you want to go collect NBA, it's pretty crazy. That's the release price. That has to come down, Doma. There's no way it stays at that price.
Matty also says he saw first off the line on Panini site for 6.8K on the site.
Yeah, they're really pumping the whole Prism thing.
Matty Cam says your middle name is Singles.
Yeah,
Saucy Singles.
Singles, mate.
All right. Next up, we have Hobby Hangout was over the weekend. Awesome turnout. Bigger venue, I think, than what we have in Melbourne. 3 levels. People said it was pretty full. Picking up good deals. Met a lot of people. They had a collector's section source where people could just show off their collection, which was pretty cool. Obviously, they had a trade area. They had people up on stage. Just awesome work done by the crew there at the Hobby Hangout. Also, they have announced the Melbourne show, which is very, very good with a nice lineup here. They got Tyson Beck as a speaker, Brett from Platinum Standard Grading, and Alex McFarlane, Alexa Collects, who we've had on the pod early on.
Previously.
First female we had on the pod as well, which is awesome. And I feel sorry for Alex because she's also a fellow North Melbourne supporter. So her and I are both suffering at the moment. But yeah, it's great to have her on stage and, sharing her hobby experiences and what she's currently purchasing and looking at in the hobby. Trading zones, entertainment cards, speakers, stalls, plus more. Live breaks, cash money breaks, more to be announced. It's Sunday, the 21st of August, 2022. It is at Melbourne Pavilion. It is at the last place that this one was held. Hope to see you all there. People in the chat, let us know if you will be at this one. Look forward to seeing you. Source and I working out what we're going to do for this one. We're definitely going to be there, clearly. But we're going to work out what we're going to do. Here is some of the others that are on the list. Cherry's there, MJ's there.
Brian from Ship My Cards will be there.
Brian will be there,
Wells.
yes, from Ship My Cards. Malman Breaks, Big Jono, he'll be there. Palms Off Gaming again. Cherry's there. Feisty Lizard, Moseville Cards. Shout out to them. A whole bunch of people. There's heaps. I'm going to hit up a thing, actually. I don't think I saw Dragon Ball Z Heroes on there. We met them at Comic-Con Source.
Correct. Yep. Jake.
I might have to hit him up. Yeah, Jake Lemura. I'll hit him up. Tell him to get a table because I think his shit will fly off the table so quickly. He's got some elite Dragon Ball Z cards that he sells to the public. And of course, look who we got here. The Baby Goat Refresh Card Source.
We're back. Jack's Collectibles is in there, so a few familiar faces, and looks like there's a few that had maybe first time getting a table this time round, so should be good. August 21st, you can get your early bird tickets. Go check out the Hobby Hangout Instagram page, Facebook page, and there's a link there that you can click on and check it out.
Very nice. All right, Source. Moving on once again. This is obviously the feature of today's show. It's also the title of the show. Which Jordan is the Jordan? There's a lot that's been happening. A lot. Obviously, we'll start with this. Our good friends at CP. It's a question as old as time. Well, at least as old as 1952. What card is the original rookie card and why? Obviously, Jordan 84, 85 star or the 86 Fleer. Then he's got the Mantle 51 Bowman or the 52 Tops. Of course, Rob G said 86 Fleer because he spent $750,000 on his one. So that makes sense. You don't want to lose your whole entire investment if it's the other one. There's a whole bunch of comments in here. 51 man on 84 star Jordan. Call me crazy, but I believe rookie cards are from a player's rookie year. I don't care what Gary V and other influencers told you to buy. 84 star Jordan rookie. Jordan rookie year was 84. Rookie card is when the player first featured on the card. 86 is Jordan's third year. As someone who's is newer to collecting, I asked why wouldn't it be 84, 85? Why is this a debate? Charizard no rarity or Charizard first edition. That like first edition. Like, what are you talking about, mate? 51 Mantle, 86 Jordan. That said, I like the look of the 52. So the 51 Mantle, not the 52 Mantle, and he's got the 86 Jordan, not the 84 Jordan. This Lamont over here. Fuck. Whichever one billionaire collectors aren't trying to pump. That's a nice one, boys.
Yeah,
the image
read
on
that comment. Go after that one. Read the comment that's up further.
This one, MJ. Yeah, 86 Flair is what people want the rookie to be because that's already too much money that's been invested in it throughout the years. Now that PSA is going to grade star again, it's more likely to going to go up, increase the value of the star for the simple fact that it creates competition between BGS and PSA slabs. Personally, I'd love to own a PSA slab star that already makes the card unique at this early stage.
Yeah, until more get graded and plenty of BGS start getting cracked and sent to PSA. And then you start getting them back as altered and whatnot, or not authentic or some shit. Look, Domo, we've had this conversation before. And we've always said that the 84-85 star is his rookie card. And, you know, the only reason that the other one, other people want that one to be his rookie card is because for that specific reason, that there is so much invested already in that card. The narrative has already been pushed so hard on that card.
I reckon it's also because the aesthetic of the card looks better. The image looks better.
Yeah.
As well. So they just try and push shit to like, and like you said, yeah, like people pump that much money into this card now.
I like the aesthetics of Zion's second year cards over his rookie cards. I like that aesthetic. So can I push that narrative that Zion's second year cards are actually his rookie?
Have you got $1 billion? Answer the question. Do you have $1 billion?
No.
Then you fucking can't. There's your answer. All right. You happy? Serious.
Well,
we'll have to leave it up here just a little bit longer, Source.
Well, apparently, according to someone else, neither of these is his rookie card.
So the spanner in the works all of a sudden becomes this. You're not going to hear it, unfortunately, because it has to be downloaded. But I can just show you this. Anyway, this was like Global Shop Direct when you're watching when your grandmother was watching the soapies back in the day, Days in Our Lives, but it was after there it is Shop at Home Network. Don Lamont West over here, the big fella pumping up something Source, and everyone's like, "What's he pumping up?" We'll skip forward just a little bit to here, and he's just talking up this card, and all of a sudden, 1985 Nike Michael Jordan Gem Mint 10. What's the grading company there, Source?
Oh, Pro Set or some bullshit.
Pro Set or something, whatever it is. Rookie, $4,999.95 USD, Source. USD. All right. This is Don West from Shop at Home Network. You can call him on 1-800-366-4010. It probably doesn't connect to anything anymore, Source, that number. Because this was in the 90s. This is in the 90s.
This is when he was coming back. I think it might be 90s or when he came back for the Wizards. What was that, 2001?
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah, so this is around year 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, 99, 90s. Don West is pumping this up and he goes, If you haven't seen it, you better go watch it, ladies and gents. He goes, listen, this card recently sold for 20,000 US. And now we've got this last one in here, this Gem Mint 10 for $4,999.95. And to tell you more about this 1985 Nike Michael Jordan rookie card, here's Ken Golden from Golden Co. He jumps on the phone and he's like, this is his rookie card. It's his first card. This is his true
This
official
is 2
rookie.
whole years before the other
2
card.
whole years.
Gives it a whole spill.
This recently sold for 20 grand. We're selling the last copy to you for 5K. And guess what? It's his true rookie card. I'm gonna take this down. You know why I'm taking it down, Sauce? Because you and I both should just do this. You know, like Cubby, you know, Kababi or Cubby, whatever his name is on TikTok. When people do all those things and he goes, this is the first. Well, I'm going to say it on behalf of Sauce and I to everyone out there. We told you so. We told you so. Whatever they want is what they get. You got money lined in your pocket. You can make whatever you want happen. As simple as that in the hobby. Do you think they got the best interest at heart? I'm going to tell you no. And I'm going to tell you that off personal experience with certain people with this wealth in the hobby. I can't share you the stuff because it's privacy, but I'm telling you this stuff personally. Because I've questioned certain people and they've responded that they don't give a fuck what people like you and I actually think of them in the hobby. They do what they want.
Yeah.
Straight up. I'm not lying to you.
Feel free if you catch us in person to ask us about it. We're more than
we'll
happy
tell
to
you
have a
exactly
yarn
who
about
it is.
And we'll tell
exactly
you.
who it
We'll
is.
tell you.
I don't care about you.
And it's what we've said for a long time that, you know, these big corporates come in and they literally don't give a fuck. It's all about the bottom dollar for them. They couldn't give a fuck about your collection. All they care about is how they can make $1 off your collection or how they can, you know, benefit themselves. So look no further than that example there. Uncle Kenny freaking, you know, here he is back in 2001 pushing that as the rookie card. And, well, what's he pushing today? The 86 Fleer. We know that. Yeah, I see this comment.
I'll bring it up. There's Tyson. Owned. Too good. Oh, Double Coverage left a message at Carpool. Can't believe you posted this. Did you and Ken have a falling out? I bet your phone is blowing up.
They were all friends when Drake wanted to rip Flawless boxes with him. Yeah, they're all happy days, friends.
Let's go live together. Yeah,
that was Cardboard looking after their own invested interest by getting some clout with Drake, and then we'll throw Uncle Kenny under the bus. Got what we wanted out of him.
Direct quote from Uncle Ken in this video. This is Michael Jordan's one true rookie. This is the rookie card. This is a card that was issued 2 full NBA seasons before the 86 Fleer.
Oh, brilliant. It's brilliant. Brilliant comical stuff. I love it.
I do too, Sauce. I do too. And on that note, let's go to 2 guys that are not going to pump and dump cards that people can't afford to help their buddies out, especially when they send them in to help them get 10s and stuff. And apparently they don't have connection to grading companies, these auction houses, even that, you know, they've said in past podcasts and videos that, you know, we can help you get your cards graded by the grading company because we have a direct line to them. Anyway, those guys that run those auction houses, don't tell me that you don't have connections with PSA and BGS, because you never know, one day in the distant future, maybe in 2035, there could be a video of you in 2020 saying that you do, and it comes out in public forum and you look like another fucking idiot once again in front of the whole world so they can see what kind of a fool you actually are. Anyway, that's my little take there for the big, rich watchdogs. So let's move over to something that's actually going to provide you actual value, and it's inserts of the week, which we're really, really enjoying giving you this content, ladies and gents. affordable base inserts. Obviously, the grading costs a little bit more. But the first one source I'm going to bring up is 9697 Fleer Towers of Power. All right, so this is the first one from this set. I'll open this up.
Oh,
Don't worry, I'll
yeah?
make it
Make it
a bit
bigger.
bigger. I'll make it bigger. So we've got Shaquille O'Neal here. This is raw. Obviously, you can see on the card.
Yeah, the dark edges and that's going to be
Yeah.
very condition sensitive.
But it's a nice, like, full background source. Nice looking card. Shaquille O'Neal. I'll get you the...
Who's in the
What
set?
number's his card? Yeah, he's card 7 out of that. So I'll tell you who's in here, who you can get. Sharif Abdul Rahim, Marcus Camby, Patrick Ewing, Kevin Garnett, Sean Kemp, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, David Robertson, Dennis Rodman, and Joe Smith. Those are the guys. There's a Dennis Rodman here. This is Kevin Garnett. Dennis Rodman, 75 for a BGS 85. No subgrades on there, so obviously...
Oh, it could be on the back. You never know. Might be
There you
all
go.
right.
That's the Kevin Garnett.
Oh, it looks pretty
So
cool. That's cool.
So every
looking
design's
card.
is a little bit different.
Yep.
Dennis Rodman.
Nice.
So there's that one. I'll bring up the Sean Kemp because I really like the Sean Kemp one in this set.
Here we go. This is
really,
definitely
really
a
nice.
cheap
There you
set
go.
for you to collect.
Man, that's a buy it now. There's a buy it now. PSA 7. I know a lot of people don't care what the PSA grade is. They want it slabbed. 17 US. PSA 7 for this. There you go. I found it for you right now. You want to buy it, you go and buy it. Me personally, I'll buy the 7. You can see here down, if you see my cursor, it's a little bit dinged. But you know what? That's a sick looking card. If you like Sean Kemp, PSA 7, what's there to complain about, mate? Chuck
Those
it
sorts
in
of ones,
your
I like to
collection.
collect the set because there's only 10 guys in the set. You could probably complete the whole set for 100 US and under, and you've got the whole set.
Raw, 100% you could. 100%. There's David Robertson, $3. Buy it now. Marcus Camby, $4.
Yeah, you probably could
KG
complete it for
Raw,
$50.
$9. Yeah. Obviously, if you want to get him graded, as we've said in the past, I'll see if there's PSA graded cards, for example. $17, that's the one I showed you before. That's the 95-96 version, which is a nice looking card as well. There's a 85 CSG Shaq 33 US. That's Fleer Metal. HGA 85 kg 65. So it's in all honesty, there's another Kemp here, PSA 7 for 1750 from ComC. It's very affordable source. If you want to buy them raw, you can buy them raw. If you want to buy them, you're going to have to obviously look if you want to get some cheap ones. But so far, the most expensive we saw was Rodman 75 for a slabbed card. The other card is, I've got to copy this. I'll chuck it in here. I had it up before. Is in the same set. It's called the Lucky 13 card. Obviously, 13 unlucky for some, but lucky for others, as they say. But this set, I'll tell you who's in this one. It is...
Kobe's in that as a rookie, you know?
Yeah, 13 cards. 96. Allen Iverson, Marcus Camby, Sharif Abdul Rahim, Stephon Marbury, Ray Allen, Anton Walker, Lorenzen Wright, Kerry Kittles, Samaki Walker, Eric Dampier, Todd Fuller, Vitaly Potapenko, and Kobe Bryant. Wasn't AI the same draft as Kobe?
Yes, I think so.
And the same with Ray Allen? I'm pretty sure.
I believe
yeah.
so.
I think in the comments, feel free to correct me.
I know that Lucky 13 is a rookie card for Kobe.
Yeah, it is. There you go. Allen Iverson. So at the moment, this is on bids. 4 days left. It'll probably go for a lot more.
Yeah, it's a nice insert. I like it.
Yeah. 1050 CSA 10 Gem Mint, whatever the fuck this is. There's a 9.5 here. Obviously, this is more expensive because it's their rookie. It's more expensive set than the Tower of Power, but something very nice as well. Obviously, I'll bring up a bit bigger.
Ray Allen won't be that expensive.
These are the three. Well, 12 hours left if you want to put a bid on. That's a PSA 9. Source. It's at $10, no bids.
$10.
If you're keen, this is what it looks like. There's Ray Allen. Nice looking card. Here's Kobe. That's in a SGC 9.5.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
And there's Allen Iverson in whatever the fuck that is. But in all honesty, man, if that goes for cheap, the card looks in pretty good nick off the photos. You just crack it out of whatever the hell that thing is and sub it to something else, somewhere else. There you go. There's two for you, the Lucky 13 and the Towers of Power Source. Adding some value. This is what we want. Gives you an opportunity. You might not know about this insert set. I tell you what, I'm learning about more and more of these insert sets as well, Source. You know, they're visually appealing. We know that the old sets had the best inserts, literally the best inserts. So feel free to check them out. More affordable option, as I said, was the Tower of Power. If you want a more expensive option, it's a Lucky 13. And that's because AI, Kobe, and Ray Allen, they're rookies. So there you go, Source.
I like it, Thomas.
Of the week. You got a Smokey. Any news? More of an update these days on some of your...
Yeah, no, not really Smokey, but yeah, as I said, I just been keep going down the rabbit hole of I'm really enjoying just collecting what I'm going after, which is always Volkanovski. I've added a bit of Bam Bam Tai Tuivasa to the list. I'm liking the design of the new select UFC cards that have just released. So I'm thinking of trying to pick up a few singles in there. There's some nice relic cards in there. They've got some relic patches. But yeah, not really going too much in the smoking. I will say that probably there are a lot of cards that have dropped off. I mean, here's one that I'm looking at, right? Like I'll bring it up. Is this is a Kobe Bryant card, a rookie card that I picked up a while ago, and I was happy to get it at the price that I happened to get it at. But I can't believe where it's at right now, and that's Kobe Bryant. Last one sold for $81. I think I bought mine up around $200 US. So like, I mean, it's now even cheaper, and this is SGC 9.5. BGS 9.5 is sitting at 223. They were at 1.6 a year ago, 6 months ago, up over 400. Sort of price has been going up and down. PSA 10 was once $1,000 card, is now a $320 card. I think this is probably one of his cooler looking rookies, but just because there's so many out there, it's just it's sort of hard to decide which ones you want. I like this one personally. I'm going to wear this on the chin. Probably won't ever be selling the card just because I'm literally so far in the hole right now. There's not even any point. So I was just be like, just keep it in the collection. No point even selling. And I'm going to keep a nice Kobe until I can have to sell it to buy a Kobe auto. That's probably the only time that I will sell it. But cards have come down a lot, ladies and gentlemen. And, this should be happy days for people out there that, maybe seen cards before that they couldn't afford. For me, it was, I've always wanted to get one of the draft redemptions, Kobe Bryant's. Doesn't really matter what grade it was in. I don't really care. I would buy it in a PSA 8. I would buy it in anything. But this is the card that I'm talking about. So, if there's really cards that you've been wanting over the last sort of 12 to 18 months, now would be a good time to start looking at, adding some to your collection to put away. Here's a card. This is just a PSA 8. I mean, just look no further. A year ago, it was over $1,000. Now one sold just, not that long ago, last month, 536. That was PSA 8. If you want to go look at the PSA 10, there's still very, very few of them in the pop. So it's still very expensive card. Most recent sale being back in May at $8,200. PSA 9 is still a, close to $1,000 card, but you got to think just over a year ago. I mean, there was an anomaly sale. Some idiot paid 11 grand for it back in 2021. Oh, wow.
Fuck.
Absolute lemon. But that's why I'm looking at more than the last year. Over the last year it was $2,500 card. It's now down to $800,000. That's his draft redemption. So Dom, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this card. You could only get this card. You pull a redemption, you trade it in for this particular card. So out of the box. So it's probably one of the more rarer Kobe Bryant rookie cards that's out there in terms of actual scarcity of the actual card, and then you've obviously got the rarity built in with the levels of grading. So BGS 9, BGS 9 still around $1,000 pro. So I mean, it just goes to show that in certain cards, the 9 and between PSA and BGS makes a difference, and in certain cards it doesn't. I mean, I look at this card. There's no real difference between the 9 in the BGS and the PSA, but I think it's an awesome time for collectors and guys that you want to start building up and get, add to your PC and hold them for a bit of a long haul. And that's what I've been focusing on. I think slowly, Smokey. I don't mind giving a Smokey here and there. I think one that I would probably look at the moment, if you're into UFC, there is a guy up and coming, South African bloke. He fought on the weekend, got a knockout. It's called, his name's Dricus Du Plessis. Driscus Du Plessis. So look him up. His rookie cards have just released in the most recent products. So they're just releasing now. I think he's up and coming in that division. So, maybe check him out and maybe pick up one or two of his rookie cards in the UFC area. And then, as Matty does mention in there, there's, NFL is coming up. So, I mean, make of it what you will. You probably should have been doing that before, maybe a bit earlier than this, if you were looking to build up. But look, Matty, I actually don't know how things are going to go. The traditional is, coming into season, there's going to be hype on certain guys, and like there always is, like in the NBA season, there was massive hype on Ja Morant, and his cards went crazy. And I'm sure there's going to be those situations in NFL. But I think it's a lot more harder to pick. And, personally, I wouldn't want to be stuck with like, a bunch of Zach Wilson cards or, Trey Lance cards. And then, he starts off so shit and, 3-4 games in, you're cooked. So I'm sort of more at the point where it's like, I just want to buy cards that I enjoy buying, and, it is what it is. If so be it in the future, they're worth more and I can sell it and upgrade certain cards or sell it and make a bit of coin off it, that's a double whammy. If not, it is what it is, and I've got some nice coasters and I'm happy to look at them. So that's the way that I've perceived the hobby at this point in time. I think it's, to believe that not saying that there's not money to be made in the hobby. There is. There are people that literally have a whole business around the hobby. But there's a lot of levels to those things to be able to remain in business. And, there's more than just buying and flipping the cards. It's fun to do a little bit as a hobby. But nonetheless, I like to just enjoy it in a different way than what I did when I first joined and when I first started this podcast, which was a lot of prospecting, a lot of that sort of stuff. I still do prospect, and I have told you all, Patrick Williams is my guy, and I'm still sticking with him, and I'm still looking for his autos and cards of his. But I also found out that I'm dealing with a crazy Chicago fan in Jeremy from Reckless Cards, who also collects P-Will. So he's probably been poaching me on some of the cards on eBay, cheeky bugger. So haven't been able to add any recent pickups in that aspect. But they're still collecting guys in SGA, few JJJ here and there. So I still do have a few younger guys and up and coming talents that I like to collect. But nonetheless, Driscus Du Plessis, he'd probably be my Smokey this week, and the new UFC Select, some nice cards in there.
I'll just finish on the other thing too, is WWE Select. The cards look really good. It's at a more affordable price of 300 Australian. So feel free.
Really good to see places, pumping an affordable box, not trying to pump a box that's already at $2,000 like they did with UFC, WWE Prism. Released at 1,500, 1,800, whatever the fuck it was, and they're trying to pump it up like it's it's going to go to 5K, and here it is down to 600 US a box. So good to see that when they are trying to pump up a product, it's an affordable price, and most people would be able to afford $300 for a hobby box.
The cards look, in my opinion, the cards actually look better than the Prism cards. So definitely have a look at the preview on the Knights Lance. Go have a look at some more images. Go watch the product get broken before you purchase. Get a bit of a feeler onto what the cards look like. And then have a crack at it if you're keen on it as a WWE fan. It's more affordable. There's autos in there. Another option for you instead of the $2,000 price tag that originally was out there. And just finally, Sauce and I definitely been talking about this a lot more lately, and we have been pushing it. That's why we've got Insert of the Week on the show. We've got Saucy Smoky, which is now pretty much what Saucy's collecting, not as a prospecting thing. And we'll always bring it back to what we said from the get-go, and we've always said on this show from the early days up until now, collect what you love. I know a lot of people come out and say, you shouldn't be telling people to collect what they love. Yeah, because the reason why people tell us not to say that to people, this is other content creators and stuff, not from in Australia, we've never had that, is because you're giving these cards on the prospect of flipping them to make money. That the whole it's a revenue stream thing all the time. So we're not about that. If you're into collecting Stranger Things cards, for example, because that's out at the moment, and you love that show and it's your favorite show on television, and you know that there's cards out there. If you didn't know, yes, there are cards out there. Go have a look. Type it in.
Millie Bobby Brown out of that auto goes for a fucking shitload, mate.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I'm talking about just buying it. It's not to sell it. And so, yeah, but in general, if you are a collector,
there's money everywhere.
Yeah, but in all honesty, Sauce, if you're a massive collector of Stranger Things, you probably want the Millie Bobby Brown part of your collection.
I'm just saying, be warned by me here that you'd probably be up for a hefty fee if you do want one.
So collect what you love. Once again, on behalf of myself and the great man Sauce, keep living, loving, and breathing sports. Double coverage. Thanks for everyone for tuning in, and peace.
Peace out, ladies and gents. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports. Double curve.